Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or whatever time of day it is that you're watching this video. Welcome to the Updike Family Homestead. Today we are making buttermilk biscuits from scratch.
Hey y'all, we are the Updike family located in the mountains of Tennessee. We're excited to share our homesteading journey with all of you. From the farm to the table, we'll share the ins and outs, the ups and downs, from recipes and how-tos to our adventures of running a homestead. So come on in and join us. From our home to yours, welcome to the Updike Family Homestead.
All right guys, welcome back. So today we are going to be making buttermilk biscuits from scratch. You're gonna need a few grocery items. Most of it you probably have sitting around your house. You're gonna need all-purpose flour, baking powder, salt, milk, sugar, butter, a whole stick of butter. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven to 400 degrees. So I'm cooking mine in a cast iron skillet, but you can actually do this in any kind of a pan or on a cookie sheet. It doesn't matter. It's totally up to you what you decide to do. Now it is buttermilk, so you may not have buttermilk on hand, and that's okay because I don't usually keep buttermilk on hand either. I probably should, but it's just as cheap to make it this way. That way I know that nothing is going to go bad sitting in the refrigerator if it doesn't get used. What you're going to need is 1 1/3, so 1 cup and plus 1/3 cup of milk. I'm using whole milk. You can use any kind of milk that you want. You're also going to need either lemon juice or white vinegar. Now I do have some white vinegar here, and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon to my milk. This is going to cause it to turn into buttermilk. So I'm just going to give that a quick stir, and we're going to just kind of set that to the side for a little bit. Now if you have buttermilk, it is still 1 1/3 cup of buttermilk. All right, now let's talk about your dry ingredients. You're going to need 2 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. So I've got my flour here. Just gonna bring it around. Okay, I've got a sifter in my ceramic bowl. So I'm just gonna put all of this into my sifter. So that's 1 cup plus another, and then a 1/3 cup. Now you're gonna need a little bit more flour, so don't put your flour away, because once we start making the actual biscuits, you're gonna want that. All right, you're gonna need 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of sugar. I am using organic pure cane sugar. You can use white sugar, it doesn't matter. So that's my 2 tablespoons and now 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'm just kind of adding all of my dry ingredients into that sifter. That way I'm able to work with that. All right, you're gonna want 1 teaspoon of salt. I am using Redmond's real salt, but you can use regular table salt, it doesn't matter. And then you're gonna need 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And like I said, just put all of that right into your sifter here. You don't have to sift this, it just makes the biscuits a little bit more fluffy. All right, and then we're just gonna sift this right into my bowl. Okay, so this is nice and sifted. I always like to use a wooden spoon. You don't have to, but it's just what I prefer and what I would recommend as well. All right, that's been sifted. I am going to preheat my cast iron skillet, and that's just to help make sure nothing sticks. Thought I had a little bit more butter over here, but I'm all out in my little butter dish. All right, so I'm just taking that I'm gonna put that right into the cast iron skillet, and that's just to coat the skillet to make sure. All right, next you're gonna want your stick of cold butter. Now, what I like to do is just kind of slice it and drop it right into the bowl of your dry ingredients. And you don't want them too thick. So this can go over here, this can go right there. Now I'm going to take my pastry sifter, or not sifter, my pastry cutter, my goodness. And I'm just mixing those dry ingredients with the butter, making sure to incorporate all of the butter into little pieces all around. Now, if you have on your wedding ring, go ahead and take that off because we are going to get a little bit messy and you don't want dough stuck into your jewelry. It's a pain to take out. I always forget to take my rings off when I'm doing bread or biscuits or anything like that. Now, this is going to be our breakfast this morning. And I'm going to fix just some fried eggs, some sausage, and some biscuits. They can actually put them together. When I say they, my husband and my kids can put them together and have a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Or if they want just the fried egg and the sausage separate, they can put some honey and butter. That's what my husband likes to do. Or some homemade jam. I still have some Christmas jam in the refrigerator. I think I've actually got some cinnamon apple jelly too. All right, that looks nice and all incorporated. There we go. So I'm going to show you this. It doesn't look like it's very different, but you can feel the butter clumps like throughout the dough, and that's what you want. Okay. Let me get this skillet nice and buttered up. It's very important to preheat your skillets. That way nothing sticks to them. So this looks like it is doing just fine. It's doing exactly what I need for it to do. All right, now we're gonna make a little hole, a little pocket in the center with the flour kind of pushed up around the edge. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a well in between all of the flour. And we're gonna slowly incorporate this milk now. So pour your milk into the little well and give it a stir. A little bit more. Okay, and a little bit more. I don't like doing all of the milk at once because sometimes the dough just works and I don't need the whole 1 1/3 cup. So if you just poured it all in, you wouldn't be able to tell. You want a nice sticky, almost like a dumpling type of texture. Just a little bit dry in there. And that's probably going to be enough. All right, remember how I said earlier to keep your flour out because you're going to need it. And that's to help keep the dough from sticking so bad to your hands. All right, I'm going to move that milk over, and let me bring in some flour. I'm just kind of dusting the tops. And this is where we're going to switch over and use our hands. Now, you could do this in a rolled out method, I'm not doing that today. I'm just making the biscuits with my hand because I'm not looking for perfection. My family could care less about the perfection. Okay, dusting my hands. You're going to just kind of roll that dough around. All right. Now, I'm just gonna kind of toss it back and forth in my hand. And that's all that I'm looking for. Not anything real big, about the size of the palm of your hand. Well, my hands are a little bit small, so maybe. I turned that stove top off. You can hear the biscuit sizzling a little bit. That's okay. And you can make these as big or as small. Like if you wanted to, you can make these into like some tea biscuits, which are a little bit of a flatter biscuit and smaller. You can make them into a pretty big biscuit if you wanted to. I wouldn't make them too thick because then what will happen is they'll cook on the outside but not finish cooking on the inside. Now I've got my pretty big cast iron skillet here that I'm using this morning. And the reason for that is because I'm gonna put the biscuits on the outer parts, and then on the inside I'm gonna put the sausage patties. So I've got my sausage patties here, and you can use, you know, if you wanted to make your own patties, you absolutely can do that. For the sake of being quick and easy this morning, I'm using just my pre-made patties. Okay, so if you can see, my biscuits are on the outer edge. They're going to rise, so I'm not worried about that. Then I'm going to take my sausage patties and just kind of arrange them. And you'll notice that, like, no, I'm not gonna have enough sausage patties to do one for each biscuit. And that's because there's no way my family this morning is going to eat all of these biscuits. So they can use them for something else if they wanted to. All right, my oven has preheated. We're gonna put that in and we're gonna bake them for about 25 minutes. All right, and now we wait for breakfast. All right, guys, we are back. My biscuits are done. Breakfast is ready to go. I wanted to show you how nice and fluffy these things are. All right, so got a fork here. And when you just open it up, look at all of that fluffy goodness in there. They are absolutely delicious. So my family can now come in and they can put it together and make like a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, or they can have some jelly. I've got Christmas jam here, cinnamon apple jelly, and apple pie preserves. And then for my husband, I've got the honey out, and of course the butter is ready to go for him. So this is it. You can have these biscuits at any point. You could even, if you wanted to, fix some sausage and gravy and serve right over top of them, which we do a lot. Or, you know, just with dinner. Some fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and biscuits. Ooh, ooh. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. I hope that you have a blessed day. See you later.